Hey everybody, it's Mike Sullivan with Born to Shine. Today we have a great guest. His name is Adam Shaw, and he is in Lennox, South Dakota. And Adam, thank you for making some time for us today. I know as a superintendent you have a busy schedule, so thanks for carving out some time.
Thanks for allowing me to be here. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. And what was your journey like, Adam, to become the superintendent? That's such a high position with everyone looking up to you for your wisdom, your leadership, your guidance. What was your journey like?
Sure. I started in a classroom in 2000, actually. I taught in a small rural district, Flanders, South Dakota. Um, I taught in seventh and eighth grade science, and I actually had a built-in loop, which was pretty awesome. So I got to
Mm.
kids kind of see the kids grow. And the community was centered around a reservation. So
Mm.
I had both white population and Native American population, and I really learned how to be a really good teacher in those 6 years that I had in the classroom. Really enjoyed my time in the classroom, and I miss my time in the classroom, that connection I had with kids.
Mm.
Um, but I think for me, that's where my foundation began, is that importance of building relationships with people and how vitally important that is with kids. Um, and so I was in that process of teaching, and I decided that I kind of really aspired to be a school administrator. I went back and did my graduate work over the summers, and ended up getting two master's degrees. I got one in school administration and one in tech integration. And so I ended up getting a job in another rural community down in Marion, South Dakota,
Mm.
which is only about an hour, probably about 20 minutes from where I'm at right now, actually. And I went from a school of about 600 kids to a school of 200 kids. So I went very small. And that role taught me that you have to be very humble and do everything. And, I went from sweeping floors to, running the concession stand to being a part of all of it. And so I was a principal there for a few years, finished my specialist degree, and then I took over as superintendent in that district and put 3 years in there, and then decided I kind of wanted to go back to a principal role. I enjoyed that principal piece. I liked the connection with the kids that I had in the principal world. So then I took a job in Madison, South Dakota, which is about an hour north of where I'm at. And my wife actually graduated from Madison. So it was kind of a unique experience to go back to that world, and um, spent my time there and put 12 years in. It was a great 12 years. It was a tough decision to leave. That's probably how you want it when you leave a district, on your own terms. And it was a very, very difficult decision. Loved the kids, loved our staff, loved the things we had going on. But it was just time maybe for a change for me to kind of grow in my career too. So about February this year, I was hired to be the superintendent in Lennox here, and so I'm about 4 months on the job. So here we are.
Cool.
But it's been an awesome educational journey for me. I have really, really enjoyed my career. As I'm on the downward side of it, I wouldn't change anything I've gotten in this at
Yeah,
all.
that's awesome. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And when you mentioned how much you miss the time in the classes and the relationships and um, that you love the kids so much. Speaking of kids, when you were a kid, when you
yeah.
were K-12, was there anything that you struggled with? Because for me, I was bullied a lot. I struggled with anxiety, with depression. I
Mm.
mean, ADD, OCD, I had A through Z. I really struggled a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there anything when you were K-12 that you struggled with?
Yep. Yeah, I was actually the kid that was in title. Struggled academically. I really struggled to read when I was younger. And I think part of that was my parents were divorced when I was a kid, real
Mm,
young.
mm,
And I think that really took a toll on me as a kid.
mm,
And my father actually raised me. And so it was very unique. Usually it's not like that. And it turned out that my dad raised my brother and I. Not that my mom wasn't involved in our lives, she was, but it was just very different for me. And, so I struggled with that. I had some depression issues as a kid.
Mm,
Even trickled into my adulthood a little bit as well. And I also had attention deficit. And so even as an adult, I still cope with some of that. And so I have to make sure that I can keep myself focused on the things that are important. And so in this leadership role, managing, 100 different things going on, having attention deficit sometimes is a challenge. And
mm.
I've always, learned that I have to learn how to, center where I've got to be and keep this running in the right direction. But I obviously we all have struggles, I think. And I think my struggles made me stronger in what I do. I really believe that.
Yeah,
So,
and that's same for me, and I appreciate you being so open and authentic, Adam, because I think some of the depression has been an up and down road for me. Some of it as a kid, then there were many years that were depression free, and then even as an adult. So I appreciate you
yeah,
sharing that. I can relate, and same with the ADD for sure. I mean, I think that's something I struggled with reading as well because I'd look all over the page.
yeah,
Sometimes I'd have to, even now, sometimes I'll take a piece of paper and put
yeah,
it under whatever I'm reading, and I can just focus on the line. I know there's
yeah,
all kinds of techniques. I think schools even have the now it's a piece of paper or plastic, and there's a little line in the center that they show
yeah,
you pull it, and it only shows that. I wish they
yeah.
had that when I was a kid, but
But
yeah,
I'm a firm believer though that because of the struggles I had, it's made me a very empathetic leader. Um,
100%.
and I think, I care about my staff and I care about our kids.
Right.
And actually, right now, I'm in the middle of interviewing all 158 of our staff members one on one
Yeah.
because I value them as individuals because I feel like they are just as much as important in this process as anybody. So,
100%. You're right. Because from pain develops empathy, compassion,
yeah,
patience, right?
yeah,
Kindness, all the qualities that the world needs more of. So,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome. And what's working well to support your kids with their emotional and mental health? And I know a lot of superintendents will say, well, we have a counselor, we have a psychologist on staff, and they even say they're amazing, but
yeah,
the kids need more. So what's something unique that you guys have done? And then what would you, with a magic wand, like to see
yeah.
more of in the coming year?
I think we have built-in social emotional learning time with our
Great.
kids.
Awesome.
And so we're pretty focused on those things.
Yeah. Good.
And so I think we invest into those things. Yeah, we have two school psychologists and
And they're great.
um, and it's awesome. But we're pretty intentional on how we deal with some of that social emotional piece.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The COVID did a heck of a number on our kids,
Mm.
and we really need to be, focusing on how do we help them get through that piece
Yeah.
still to this day.
Amen. And if you're watching, this is October 14th, 2025. So we are
Yeah.
not, this is not COVID. This is 5 years later.
No, our COVID babies are just coming to us right now.
Yes, yes, yeah,
And so we're a long ways from being done with COVID.
yeah,
Anybody that thinks we're done with COVID, we're not.
right.
We get to see the direct impact of it day in and day out.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the human element of just struggle has been since the beginning of man with
Yeah.
so this is nothing new, and it's great that you're putting so much support into social emotional learning and
Yeah.
integrating that into the daily day in and day out of your
Yeah.
students. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. I think I worry about the more so the social aspect with kids
Hmm.
and the social isolationism that happened.
Absolutely.
That's what I worry most about. I think the academia side, we can work through that
Right.
and work through the pieces of that. That it's the social piece that really concerns me about kids.
Well, that's wise. That's wisdom right there, Adam. And there's no mistake that you're at where you're at.
Yeah.
because that's what I think the leaders now are focusing on more and more of, and it's great that you're doing that. So that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's where the biggest problem is. We're better together. We're not
Yeah.
good on our own. Isolation,
Yeah.
that's where all the problems start to come.
Yeah. Yep.
The
I would
anxiety,
agree.
the depression, the questioning, the comparing ourselves, all, and it's
Yeah.
a slippery slope. So
Yeah.
we're better together.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if I had my magic wand, I
Yeah,
think I would love to just take out the social media aspect in kids' lives. I
100%.
think
Totally agree.
that's the biggest piece. I know that's what they know, but I don't think they understand some of the damage that it does.
Yeah,
And we just implemented a policy here in our high school where our kids actually have to rack their cell phones during class times
good.
and trying to get it out of their hands, just to teach kids how to communicate like it needs to be done. So,
Amen. Love it. Love it.
yeah.
And if there's
So,
a parent, Adam, or a student, or staff, or
yeah.
another, superintendent like you, if there's someone that's watching, anything that's on your heart that you want to share with them, or maybe some encouragement, or just whatever's on your heart.
I think the biggest thing for me is one, work hard to build relationships
Mm,
with people, with kids. Kids don't bite. They're some of the most intriguing individuals there are, and they have a ton of knowledge, and just take the time to get to know them.
yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing. And I always tell our staff, if you can build a relationship with a kid, you can teach them anything. There's no doubt in my mind. And you know, there's nothing more like just love them. That's all we have to do is just embrace them and love them.
yeah,
Um, Especially those that maybe come from a hard background. And a lot of times those that come from hard backgrounds, mom and dad might be working two or three jobs just to support those kids. And sometimes they just need that TLC that we can provide them. So
love it.
um
No, no, go
so
ahead.
that's my biggest thing is just embrace kids.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I can, feel that from you. I can see it, and it's in your words, and it's just it shines through you that you
Yeah.
really do care for your kids, and you
Yeah.
want to love on them, you want to build the relationships with them, and then that's where all the magic happens. So,
And
yeah,
yeah, of them and our staff both. I mean, I think they're going through it just like the kids are too. And,
right.
we got to support them just as much as we support the kids too. I think they take some hard beatings out there in public right now as well. And I do feel for them and anybody in education really that, we need to support educators
Yeah,
because they are the ones that are putting the foundation in place for for you know just about anything in this world.
yeah.
So
Absolutely. I love to hear that because my mom was a teacher. So it's
yeah,
great that you take care of your teachers so well, and the kids need it, the staff needs it, the parents need support too.
yeah,
They're
yep,
working hard too. So
yeah, 100%.
yeah. Well, Adam, thank you
So
so much, man. This has been awesome
yeah,
hearing your
yeah,
stories. Thanks for
yeah.
sharing.
Thanks for letting me share it. I appreciate it.